Welcome back to the deep dive. Ever feel like the English you learned just disappears in real life?
Yeah, like in a busy shop or talking to someone new.
Exactly. Well, this deep dive is for you. We've been looking at material about practical English, getting fluent fast for everyday situations.
That's the core idea, really. Forget the dry grammar for a second. We're asking, can you actually survive one day in English?
Right.
The aim isn't perfection, it's, communication.
Mm-hmm.
In those key moments, we want to give you that sort of cheat sheet.
Okay, so what are these key moments?
We're focusing on three really common scenes. First, just handling basics like grocery shopping.
Okay.
Then, building connections with small talk, super important.
Definitely. And the third?
And finally, the quick way, texting a friend, making plans and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So grocery store, small talk, texting, it feels like a shortcut to using English right away.
It really is. Think of them as like the main pillars. Master these flows, the way these conversations usually go, and your confidence shoots up.
Because you know what to say when you're put on the spot.
Exactly. No more freezing up.
All right, let's jump into scene one then, the grocery store. That moment you have to, well, stop being invisible and actually talk to someone.
Yeah, getting someone's attention politely and asking where things are.
The first step, according to the sources, is getting attention. And the magic phrase is,
Excuse me. It's the go-to polite interrupter. But hang on, it's more than just the words.
is it always, excuse me? Like, what if it's a bit more casual, say, a market stall? Does hi work?
That's a good question about register.
Yeah.
Formality. In a regular store, yeah, excuse me is pretty standard. It signals sorry to bother you, but
Right.
just jumping in with, where's the milk, can feel a bit blunt.
Yeah.
But like you said, a farmer's market, maybe a small cafe,
Right.
a friendly, hi there, I was wondering, could totally work. It's softer.
But for our main example, the standard store.
Stick with the polite way. Hi, excuse me, where can I find the milk?
Okay, and that specific phrasing, where can I find? Why that instead of just where is?
It's a subtle thing in English. Where is the milk? Is direct, functional, fine. But where can I find feels a bit more collaborative.
Like you're asking for their help finding it, not just the location.
Exactly. It sounds a little softer, more polite. And in customer service, softer is usually better.
Makes sense. So the assistant replies, let's look at that. The sources give examples like, it's in aisle 5 next to the bread.
Right. And notice the layering there. Aisle 5, that's the big picture location.
Uh-huh.
Then next to the bread, that's the specific spot. Getting those little words, those prepositions like next to, behind, across from is so key.
Oh, yeah. I once ended up looking for cheese next to the cleaning supplies because I mixed up behind and beside.
Uh-huh. See? They matter.
Okay, so the shopper might need something else too. The example is, thanks. Oh, and do you have any eggs?
And notice that little, oh, and. It's a natural way to add a second thought without starting all over again.
Keeps the flow going.
Yeah. And the assistant might say, yes, they're just behind the dairy section. Another key location phrase. Behind the...
What if they don't have the eggs? How would they say no politely, not just nope?
Good one. No, they'd soften it. Something like, oh, sorry, looks like we're out of those right now. Or, I don't think we have those in stock at the moment, but maybe check the chiller near the entrance.
Using phrases like looks like or
Uh-huh.
seem to be.
Exactly. It manages expectations gently. It's not a hard no.
So the big takeaway, the actionable tip here, is practice, right? Repetition.
Definitely. The sources stress this. You need that whole phrase, excuse me, where can I find the milk? Ready to go. Like muscle memory.
So you don't panic in the moment.
Right. You're learning a script for that specific transaction.
Okay, let's shift gears. From buying things to connecting with people. Scene 2. Small talk essentials.
Ah, yes. Building rapport, talking to maybe a new colleague or someone in your class.
The stakes feel higher here, don't they? It's about relationship building, not just finding aisle 5.
Totally. We move from just needing something to using language to, well, grease the social wheels.
It often starts super simple, right?
Yeah.
The sources mention, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, the classic informal greeting,
Yeah.
not always a real question about your well-being.
And the standard reply sequence, pretty good, thanks. How about you? Followed by,
Not bad.
okay, not bad. Let's dig into that. It sounds Neutral.
It's very culturally English, not bad. It basically means everything's okay, I'm functioning, nothing dramatic to report, and let's keep this light.
Right. It doesn't invite a deep dive into your problems.
Exactly. If someone says, actually, things are terrible, the whole conversation shifts gear. Not bad. Keeps it light, keeps it moving, which is the point of small talk.
That's a great way to put it. But what if you do want to move beyond just pretty good and not bad? How do you find a topic?
The pivot. That's the tricky part. Finding something safe, but, not totally boring.
The ultimate safe zone is always
The weather. Yeah. The example given is crazy weather today, right? Yeah.
that little right at the end is key, isn't it? It turns it into an invitation.
Absolutely. It requires a response. And the typical reply might be something like, yeah, it's been raining all week. Agreement. Shared experience.
But, okay, we can't always talk about the weather.
Yeah.
What are other safe topics?
The best ones are usually about the immediate shared environment. Context is everything.
Like,
Well, if you're at work, wow, the coffee machine is busy this morning, huh? Or maybe, is it just me? Or is it freezing in here today?
or in class.
Right. How are you finding this homework? Or that lecture was interesting, wasn't it? Things you're both experiencing right there.
So observe the shared context, make a light comment, and add that little hook, that tag question like, right? Or, huh? Or, isn't it?
Precisely. It's an invitation to connect over something neutral. The sources even suggest a mini challenge. Try recording yourself doing a short small talk bit.
Ooh, that's brave. Why recording?
You'd immediately hear if your tone sounds inviting or just flat. Is your inflection going up at the end? Does it sound like a question?
Good point. Practice makes, well, less awkward small talk, hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay, ready for the final scene?
Let's do it. Scene 3. The digital shortcut, texting a friend.
Right. And what's interesting here is how texting often uses the same core phrases as spoken English, just, faster and shorter.
So learning these helps in both worlds.
Definitely. It reinforces the really efficient, common structures. The example conversation is about making plans. It starts very direct. Hey, you free tonight?
Simple, direct. And the reply is kind of a casual probe. Maybe. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? Let's unpack that for a learner. It means what's happening or what do you have in mind? But it's super informal.
Friend territory.
Absolutely. And the punctuation matters in text, right?
It-
What's up versus what's up. Slight difference in energy.
Good point. Enthusiasm versus just asking. Then comes the plan. Thinking about getting dinner around 7.
Notice the thinking about. It's softer than let's get dinner. More
Yep.
casual, less demanding.
And the agreement. Simple again.
Sounds good. See you then.
Sounds good. That phrase does a lot of work, doesn't it?
It's a powerhouse. Agrees to plans, confirms understanding, acknowledges suggestions. Spoken or typed. It's positive, but non-committal in a way. Super useful.
And see you then. As the closing. It's like the digital handshake. Confirms the plan is set.
Exactly. Seals the deal, ends the interaction efficiently.
It feels like texting strips away the extra politeness sometimes. You wouldn't text, I wish to inquire regarding your availability this evening.
Definitely not. It's all about efficiency. And mastering what's up and sounds good helps you speak more naturally, too, because they're common spoken phrases.
So the intonation carries the meaning when speaking, and maybe punctuation or emojis carry it when texting.
Pretty much, yeah. The basic structure stays the same.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We've covered 3 big areas. Handling the grocery store transaction,
Getting that polite interruption and location question down.
then navigating small talk with new people,
Finding those safe, shared topics and inviting conversation.
and finally, making plans quickly through text.
Using those efficient, informal phrases like, what's up? And sounds good.
These feel like genuine building blocks for everyday English life.
If you get comfortable with just these few conversational flows, the structures, the key phrases, you're suddenly equipped for a huge chunk of daily interactions. You've bypassed loads of grammar theory and gone straight to using it.
So for everyone listening, the message is, it's time to actually do it.
Yes. Enough theory. Time for the challenge.
Which is?
Your challenge. Try to speak only English for one whole day, or even just an afternoon, at home, out and about, online. Use the structures we talked about.
Focus on the flow of the conversation, not every single word.
Exactly. You'll likely find these patterns cover more situations than you think. It's about having those frameworks ready.
And when you manage it, even for a few hours, the sources suggest a little victory phrase to tell yourself.
I survived one day in English. Or maybe I used English for a day.
I like that. Own it. It's about building that real confidence through actual practice.
It really is. And what's amazing is how few core patterns you need to feel functionally fluent. You don't need thousands of words for these basic interactions.
Just the right words in the right structure for the right situation.
That's the secret sauce, really. Master these flows, and you're not just surviving, you're communicating effectively.
A great thought to end on. Thanks for breaking that down.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.